Hello, hi Facebook world. How are you guys doing tonight? It is Friday night and I just put my kids down. However, they are still talking to each other in their room and let's all hope that they don't come out. So my name is Denise Walsh, and if you have been following along in this series, then you have seen that we've done really just 5 things that I have seen over my 10 years of being an entrepreneur in this business that truly get in our own way. And whether you're looking to start something new, or you're looking to start a business, or looking to even try a new hobby, or maybe you decided to get started, but yet you still feel quote unquote like stuck. I think all of these things are just like that mind chatter that gets in our head that can stop us. Seriously, stop us before we even get started. So the first day we talked about not having enough time. It's a big one. Feeling like you just are so overwhelmed that you can't add another thing, even if it's something fun. And then the second day we talked about not having enough money. Resources, money, that equipment, whatever skills or whatever necessities you need, or for whatever you're looking to get started, whether it's your business opportunity and you're looking to get materials, or you're looking to get, I'm thinking of skis, or I don't know, other things, other hobbies that you may want to do, but yet you don't have the equipment for it. I don't have enough money. I can't do it, right? It stops us before we even get started. And then we talked about not knowing enough people, or not feeling like we've got a network to support that. And we talked about upgrading our network, expanding our network, and really just asking good questions and getting to know people who have what we want and that kind of thing. And then lastly, last night we talked about not feeling like you have the skill set, maybe even feeling unqualified, underqualified to do either this business or whatever you're looking to do that steps outside your comfort zone, which we all know is just not true. Because you can learn about anything, right? So if you want to, you can learn the skills for whatever you're looking to do. But I think today is my favorite. I think today is one of the ones that I hear the most. And it's not even one that you hear at the beginning or before somebody gets started. It's something I hear every single step of the way. So if you know somebody that either wants to start something new, or maybe they have, but they still are like not moving forward, I want you to like this post. I want you to share it, tag a few people, post it into your groups, whatever it is, because I think this is going to be the one that may relate to most people. So, hey Vicki, hi Kristen, hey Laura, Angela, Tammy, out east. I love how Facebook and social media just can connect us with people all over the world, no matter what time zone, right? Hey Sam, Samantha. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the last kind of fear or objection or mind chatter that I'd like to talk about is how do I say it gracefully? To be honest, it's truly just fear of failure. And the flip side of that, it can be fear of success. And I find that most people don't even open their kit when they get it. So what happens is you start something new. Let's take the instance of this business. You click submit, right? And then you go, oh crap, what did I do? You have this freak out moment. Or maybe you're really excited, but yet you talk to your husband or you talk to a friend and they go, that doesn't work. You're not going to make any money. And immediately your hopes start to dive. You were so excited, but then immediately you start to just feel discouraged and defeated before you even got started. And then those questions start popping up. Like, what if nobody likes it? What if people make fun of me? What if people say no? What if, that negative cycle starts to happen? And I think, move this a minute, I think that fear of what will people think, or are they going to say no, that kind of thing, is probably so strong at the beginning that it's what takes people out of the game before they even try. The fear of failure, what will people think if it doesn't work, What, that kind of thing. Like, what if I try it and it doesn't work? What if all of that fear of failure, fear of taking a step and then 2 steps back, and that fear stops people before they even get started. And what I've learned about fear is that, number one, it's a liar. It's not true. And so you're often afraid of things that haven't happened yet. I think even the fear of rejection. You're afraid of people saying no. Well, let's think about it. You didn't have them as a customer before. You don't have them as a customer now. Like, nothing in your life has changed. They're not rejecting you. They're just saying, no, I'm not this moment, right? And sometimes we take that personally, and it puts us on an emotional up and down roller coaster that can end up derailing us. I mean, think about when you go to a restaurant, and if the waitress says, would you like mustard or ketchup on your hamburger? And if you say no, does she run in the back and cry? Like, no, I just happen to not want mustard or ketchup right now. That doesn't have anything to do with you. And that's similar to our specific business. Do you want to try a wrap or a facial? Do you want to be healthier? Do you want to make extra money? And if someone says, no, like, not right now, I'm just not in the space where I can do that or think about that, like, that's okay. You don't have to run in the corner and hide. They're just saying, no, I'm not ready for this right now. That's not a reflection of you. But yet, sometimes when we start making movements outside our comfort zone, if there's any sort of negativity, then we can take it personally. And I found that first funk, that first no, that first, like, what do people think, is the hardest. It's the hardest one. And because at the beginning, it's like this roller coaster, right? Someone says yes, you're like, woohoo! Someone says no, you're like, yes, no, ooh. And pretty soon, when you're on the journey, you don't get emotionally connected to the yeses or nos anymore. So someone says yes, you're like, sweet. Someone says no, you're like, okay. So at first, where it's like this big emotional up and down, eventually it stables out. So what I like to do is really focus on helping a new distributor get over their first funk. Because you're going to have one in your first 6 weeks. You just are. But how you go through that first funk is going to dictate part of your success in this business. I think sometimes people experience these funks and they think, man, I think this means I shouldn't be here. They're like, this is a sign that I shouldn't be here. When that's crap too. That's not true at all. Because, again, anything worth doing is hard. Anything worth doing is going to evolve some sacrifice or some, focus and intention and digging down deep. I mean, think about planning your wedding. Like, that wasn't easy, but it was worth it. So anything that is worth it is going to have these moments that come along, and how you get through that first funk often is going to set the pace for your business. So I watch and I listen to what's coming out of people's mouths when they go through that first funk, because I know that's how they're thinking. Are they a victim thinking? Are they abundant mindset? Are they a leadership thinker? Are they a distributorship thinker? I'm listening and I'm watching on how they go through that first funk. And because everybody goes through it. Everybody does. And so the recommendation is to use personal development and connecting with your team to move through that first funk, because we totally all understand. But what I know is that people will use that first funk as an excuse to say, well, I guess I'm not supposed to be here. And then they don't even get really started. They don't even wrap someone. They don't even open their kit. They don't even really work their hundreds list. They just stop before they even try, because that's easier. Well, and it is. It's always easier to sit and binge watch Netflix. But that's not going to get you anywhere, right? So fear of failure stops people in their tracks. And on the flip side, what's really interesting is that the fear of success can also paralyze people. Because what if it does work? What if all of a sudden I'm debt-free and I'm making more money than my family? What if all of a sudden I have the ability to move and I don't have to stay stuck in these kind of generational patterns that we're used to? What if I have to step outside and maybe make some new friends because I don't quite fit in with the friends I have anymore? Things change when you don't have the same problems to complain about. And sometimes even fear of success can be crippling or paralyzing to people. You can wonder, am I worth success? Am I deserving of this? Am I worthy? Those are all natural emotions that can bubble up when things start happening for you that you have to work through. At least I've learned that you kind of have to go through those things. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of what if it falls apart, fear of what if it does work. Sometimes they say when you have success, it's like you're high up the flagpole and everyone sees your butt. Is that the saying? It's like you're exposed now. And so, those are kind of things that people work through on their journey to success. And if you don't work through them, you don't get to the other side. And I think a lot of times people feel like they shouldn't have to go through that. Like maybe because I'm experiencing fear or because I'm a little nervous about this or then that means I shouldn't be here. And again, I don't think that's true at all. I think that that's part of the growth journey to get to the other side, no matter what other side that is. Because I remember going through all of them. I remember going through, I remember when we quit our job. We were making 6 figures a month and we quit our jobs, and then all of a sudden this new fear came up. I remember we went to Australia, we came back, and I was like, what am I going to do with my time, And I read a lot, and I called it personal development. And I checked it off my list. I remember, just quitting our job and the fear of that. I remember, just situations where we had to do something different. Maybe leads weren't coming in the way they were before, and we had to rethink. And I remember when we went presidential, feeling like people were going to throw tomatoes at me through Facebook, like a fear of success a little bit. I remember I have had guilt of success. Like, why are we experiencing success when there's so many people out there working just as hard? Feeling guilty about having that. And maybe even change the relationships with our family because they are now looking at us differently. And when we still feel the same, but yet they're looking at us through a different lens. And so we've been through that. We've absolutely been through that. And I think that's just a part of the journey. Just a part of it. I don't know that you can fully skip it. And if you do, it means you've dealt with it in a different way, in a different company, in a different experience, in a different, I had someone come in into our business and they've been a distributor with other companies. And I said to her, so what does that bring you? Like, you've done other things, you have experience, tell me, what asset does that bring for you? And she just said personal development. I've been through the funks and I know what to expect and not to be so blindsided by them and how to get through them. So if you don't have some of that stuff, it usually means you've gone through it prior in a different experience. Maybe you're an athlete or, I just did my first bodybuilding show, which was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And, you just kind of go through all of that. Fear of failure, fear of success, guilt, and leaving people behind, and all of these things. And it's just a part of it. It's just a part of it. Success is sweaty. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. And so what I learned to do is to stay plugged into my team. Upline, downline, sideline. I stay plugged in with my journaling, with my reading, and with personal development in my ear all the time to choose constantly to keep my mind right and focused on what I want. Because it can be so easy. Life is happening to everyone, right? It can be so easy to just get back into that negative cycle. But I've learned that we have a choice. We have a choice on what we think about, and you become what you think about, literally. So I make a conscious choice. Even if I feel myself going down that fear rabbit hole, I know it's not true. And I say, okay, well, what do I want? What do I want? Let's focus on that and work towards that. And I will even do that still feeling fearful. I've done expos being like, hey, I'm here, yay! And I have a pit in my stomach because I'm so scared. I do it and I'm still sometimes nervous, but that's okay. That's okay. Because I flip that to the excitement. So it's not fear, it's just exciting. But you do it. You do it anyway. And because of that, you grow. And you do get to the other side. And those fears do diminish. They may never go away because we're human, but you know what? They do diminish. And what you want gets so big and so loud that you forget that the fear is even there. I have become a professional ignorer of fear. And this is the one that I think is the most important because it can rev its nasty head at any point in your business. Whether you're new, you're seasoned, you're a leader, this fear can creep in and stop you before you even get started. And I know there's some of you watching that have signed up a distributor who said they were so excited, they were going to rock your world, and then they didn't even open their kit. And I can tell you the thing that stopped them was fear. It is easier to stay comfortable even if you don't like it, because it's easier. And so often people will do that. They'll stay comfortable because it's comfortable, even if they don't like it and they're slowly dying inside. So if this relates to any of you, I would love for you to take the stand today against fear. Know that it's just not true. It's simply not true. It's a liar. Focus on what you want. Get so freaking excited about that becomes louder than any sort of fear that you experience. And then do it anyway. Even if the fear is still there, do it anyway. All right, let me look through my notes here. Yeah. So change and comfort cannot coexist. So if you think about those people who stay stuck, I mean, when I say those people, like we all do it to an extent. Or we think about doing it, or we stay stuck even though it's comfortable, even if we don't like it, and change and comfort cannot exist. They cannot exist at the same time. So if you want change, you have to do something different. I actually just posted a little timer on my phone, so I set a timer. I'll show you guys. I think I'm funny. Okay, so I set timers on my phone, and one of them says explosive blessings are coming your way. So it'll go off at 11 o'clock, and it says explosive blessings are coming your way, and I just accept, I say it, and I focus on it, and I speak it, and then the next one at 1 o'clock says if you want something different, you have to do something different, because that's when my willpower is lower, and it's easier for me to eat cookies, so I put that on there at 1 o'clock. I'm like, don't stay focused on what you truly want. If you want something different, you have to do something different. And the only way that you can truly fail in this business or even at life is if you stop growing, if you quit trying, if you give up on yourself before you even reach your full potential. Because I know in this business, the tools are given to us. You know, we have everything that we need. That's true. The question is, are we using it? And think about life tools. There's so much out there, you guys. Audible, books, the library, YouTube. There's so much out there for the person who wants to become better, for you to consistently be pouring goodness into yourself. But yet, how many of us actually do it? In my opinion, that's why there's a 1%. Because not many people are willing to do what it takes to dig down deep and stay focused for that long. Wouldn't you rather say, oh well, I tried, rather than, what if I could have done it? You know, I think regret is one of the worst things. To look back and say, man, I just wasted years doing something that I didn't like because I was afraid. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me over these past few nights. I certainly love connecting with you and answering questions, sharing what I have learned, and I can't wait to see you guys at upcoming events. So Stephanie mentioned that her fear is the rejection of people not responding, and I mentioned this at the beginning, but rejection is a myth. Because you didn't have them as a customer before, and you don't have them as a customer now. So nothing in your life has changed. So it's a myth. It's a myth. If you missed the first part, listen to the part that I talked about ketchup and mustard with a waitress. Because that's how we need to respond. And, think about it when we are getting those no's or those, not people answering. So I love that, Vicki. Should've, could've, would've was a saying years ago, and we can just kick that to the curb and just say, I am, I will, and I'm doing it, right? I am, I will, I'm doing it. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Have an awesome Friday, and we'll see you in our next series.